They're not done meeting yet?
In the Roosevelt room?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
You got a phone message.
From who?
Frank Kelly.
Who's he?
He's a textiles worker in South Carolina making $12.17 an hour with no health insurance. His 2 kids go to public school. The school's fine, but they've had to cut art and music for budget reasons, and Frank's 10-year-old is just nuts about the trumpet, so the mom does telemarketing at night after the kids have gone to bed to pay for lessons and rent an instrument. Not that art and music are important or that any of us had any fun or met friends doing it. Frank obeys the law and pays his bills. He also pays his taxes, and he called to thank you for sending his money to Mexico.
Does he want me to call back?
Josh.
No, why don't you call him back? Why don't you call him back and remind him that the Mexican consumers who buy his textiles can't afford to buy them anymore. Frank will be laid off, which isn't a problem. There are plenty of jobs out there for a 48-year-old textiles worker, just as long as he's trained in high-tech computers and or medical research.
Well, like the $30 billion is going to make it into the pocket of Mexican consumers.
Eventually it does, and we're not giving them the money. We're giving them our credit card and paying the bill. It's a loan. We did the same thing 6 years ago. The loan was paid back ahead of schedule.
And we did the same thing 4 years before that, too, right?
Yes.
And 5 years before that?
Yes.
AA's definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. I'm not cheap, nor am I xenophobic. I just think it's time for some tough love.
Well, not right here in front of everybody, Donna, but if you want to run home and get your equipment.
Go away from me.
The telemarketing was a nice detail, but you should have said scrub floors.
I thought it'd be too much.
Yeah, probably. Did you confess?
She didn't let me get to Whitaker Chambers and the secret pumpkin.
You got a phone call while you were in there.
From who?
Europe in 1939.
Yeah?
Yeah, I jotted it down. Apparently they're at war, but we've taken a firm stand as an isolationist nation and refused to get involved. Our resources are our own, and their problems are on the other side of the world, though they do have problems. Sounds to me from what they said on the phone that France, Austria, and England are getting absolutely pounded by the Germans and with no end in sight. They say that by 1941 they're going to desperately need our help if they have any chance of survival, but I think they're just being hysterical. This son of a customs agent with the Charlie Chaplin mustache ain't going anywhere, but there's no telling that to Franklin Roosevelt, who's trying to convince his country they need to get involved. That's why he came up with this.
An 8th grade social studies textbook?
Turn to the page I flanked.
The Lend-Lease Act.
Yeah. Simply put, a loan of arms to Russia and Britain with the understanding that they pay us back when the war was over. And he said this. He said, if your neighbor's house is on fire, you don't haggle over the price of your garden hose. Frank Kelly in South Carolina wouldn't. There are too many things in the world we can't do. Mexico's on fire. Why help them? Because we can.
Did they agree to the money?
Yeah.
Okay.
You shouldn't feel bad about this.